We are back casting Exnic here again with Magic Duels, and this time I'm going to be trying a Waxy Moon deck. Early today the servers were down, so we're trying to play fast this. So key idea is to take creatures like this one, Kessig Prowler, 1 drop, but if you pay 5 you get to its other side, much more powerful, but of course 5 is a lot of mana, therefore we're going to be trying to use Waxy Moon because there we have a lot of this type of werewolves. Also notice that the transformation is permanent, a difference of something like the human werewolves that can be returning to its original form, but the Geier rich bandit on her other side actually also transforms werewolves that enter the battlefield. That is very another I would say another cheat to so we don't have to pay the cost. So this is an experimental deck, a little greedy, I would say. That I think if I had went just green might work better, more consistently at least, or much more aggressive perhaps, but the red werewolf are so nice that I want to try to see if it's possible at all to do this. And of course last time, in case you miss it, I was trying to flood the board with Timber-Pack wolves, and okay, that's a very fun idea, very difficult to pull, and probably you're going to end up losing many times. So let's try to make a strong deck here and see if we get some victories. So I think the population of the server can be down because just about an hour ago there was an interruption and people couldn't play. Let's see what we get here against a terrific opponent that is waiting with lots of red spells and maybe dragons. We'll soon find out. Let's see. So a difficult issue with my current deck can be the mana balance. Ramping spells could be nice. For instance here, no mana at all. Let's proceed to a new hand. This might work if we get another land. It can be a very powerful hand. Otherwise we have to wait until we can cast the Wildsize here. So Elemental Bond probably going to somehow help us later. I'm not too sure about this one, but the automatically drawing effect is, I think it's nice. There's a little bit of synergy with this and Silverfur Partisan and the other enchantment. So let's try to drop one of our guys, and well, here's the thing. If I do not drop Looming Spires and okay, this is 1 point of damage that we miss. I think it is worth, and otherwise we run the risk of not being able to play a more interesting card next turn in case we get our nice land. We also have Waxy Moon in hand, and the other side of the Prowler, it's a 4/4 that can be blocked by more than one creature, but instead we got our Rootbound Crag, enters tapped, a little bit an opportunity. Do I want to hold onto the Waxy Moon? Probably we want to cast this just now, but the opponent, double white, red and black, might have some surprise for us there. Let's hope this one survives, so we at least get some damage in, but it's a reprisal. Well, better this one than, for instance, Ulrich of the Krallenhorde. This gives 4/4 to another allied creature, and becomes a 6/6 werewolf that lets some beating happen. Now opponent with if he has more of this, we are going to be suffering lots of pain. I think this opportunity calls for the elemental bond instead of the Shrill Howler. We are going slower than we wanted to, but we'll see. So we are at 4 mana currently. The Vildin-Pack, actually very powerful. If we pay the activation of the +1/-1, can get up to 7/1 in a single swing without dying, of course. Let's see, but if I drop the Shrill Howler, we should draw another card, and that should be fine. Opponent with some form of human, maybe he's running allies deck or tokens deck, or perhaps even planeswalkers, but this color combination doesn't look like it. So any of our creatures lets us draw. I think the Shrill Howler is probably the best one in case the opponent happens to run another removal spell, and it's a land that makes it possible for us to transform the Howler into the Holden Chorus. That is really powerful, actually. But of course it comes at a high price. So maybe the opponent has some form of sacrifice deck. What could it be? Traitor's Instinct here. So our life total running deeply low, but if we connect with these, we get a 3/2 token out of it. So we can also kill a couple of tokens with the werewolf. I think it is fine. So this activation when it deals damage. So let's go. I think a double strike on this will be very interesting, but I'm not using it now. For single white, opponent does nothing, and we go ahead and hit for 3 and should receive a 3/2 token that probably is going to be blocking if the opponent hits. So a nice combo has occurred that I was not expecting here, thanks to the elemental bond. Declaration in stone. Alright. Well, we know the opponent runs removal. Now he does not attack. I wonder if he wants to block. So we could draw and maybe playing this one, giving this other guy +4/+4, but we cannot use the Wildsize. We can Expedite something so it gains haste. I think I'm going to drop this one here and give it haste and draw in the process. We draw 2 cards. I think I love the elemental bond. I did not expect it to work so nicely. Another Expedite might come in handy, but I'm not going to cast it this turn. Let's send both, just in case the opponent forces us to sacrifice one of our attackers. Well, what can we do here? Well, we could try to give this +1 -1, but it's not going to be worth. So of course we have lost plenty of our guys, but looking at the opponent's hand, he has only 3 cards. He can spawn some tokens, but this Sorin is going to be dead thanks to the Krallenhorde with haste. And we definitely do not want to let the opponent draw any more cards there. Let's draw 2. Krallenhorde, give himself +4/+4. Geier Reach Bandit. She has haste. Now let's expedite this guy and finish that Sorin before he does us more harm that he should. Okay, not much else to do this turn. We can use the clue to get another card. So good thing we are not against a mill deck. So we lost the Ulrich against another removal, but now the opponent has just one single remaining card. Geier Reach has haste. Yeah, let's see what we draw with her. Not bad. So I can send the Conduit of Storms. Should I? If she transforms, well, they think he might probably have more languishes, more planar outburst, more of anything. I think we can wait. There is no actual need to commit too much in this case. Let's see. Let's try to Wildsize over here and see what happens. Okay, flash this one. Yeah, pretty good. Howlpack Resurgence. Now we are tapped, but the opponent is going to have only 2 cards. He could try to get some token with this. If he casts nothing, game over, because these 2 are going to transform whenever at the moment we play them. We can give haste to any one of them, and they get +1/+1 and trample out of the Howlpack Resurgence. Yeah. Alright. So let's... Okay, Conduit of Storms first. Do I want to transform my guy? Yes, please. Let's drop a forest. Well, I think we forced the opponent to concede. Let's pretend that he didn't concede. What should we do? We can give haste to just one of them, and if we play another one, the Vildin-Pack Alpha, no, I mean, yes, this returns to his Geier Rich Bandit form that we don't want to. So I'm going to just give haste here, and if the opponent is not running any more removal, I think we can hit him. And Conduit of Emrakul gives us 2 additional mana, but we didn't get to see that, and we won against a deck. I think it has the weak point of not having enough draw to keep up, because it's mostly removals and Planeswalkers, and well, he couldn't get us because we had, well, the Elemental Bond actually nicer than I first suspected, so I think it's a keeper. So there's a single copy of Elemental Bond. Perhaps it's worth to run more of those. Let's try again and see what happens. So in case you want to get the description of the deck, the list should be in the video description. You can leave your comments if you wish. If we hit a mill deck, I don't think we can beat the milling. This might be it, or perhaps a prowess red-blue deck, or perhaps something more original here. A little slow hand, but we have double 3 drops and 3 mana. I think we can keep this one. The opponent has gone to 6 and is playing red, so it's not what I first suspected. Perhaps some interesting energy deck. So we have the Waxing Moon. I guess that the beginning with the Conduit of Storms might be better than beginning with the Shrill Howler, because this has just 1 health, so the opponent might have something to kill a 1 toughness creature, but yeah, apparently this is about energy. Maybe the opponent runs mono green and ramps like there's no tomorrow, and he gets lots of energy to get those creatures out. So let's try to beat that ramping with our cheating of the Waxing Moon. So we get 1 additional red. After we attack with the Conduit of Storms, we can freely attack here. I don't think the opponent wants to block, especially after we give the guy first strike and +1/+1. He could double block, but probably he wants to keep this one around. So let's go ahead with this guy. Alright, as we expected, no blocking has occurred. And I want to drop another creature here. So I think the Smoldering Werewolf is appropriate here. We can remove the Sage of Shilas. That is not too bothering, but anyways, it should be gone. So when the opponent gets to a high amount of energy, we run into trouble. So let's try to... Galvanic Bombardment is going to kill the Smoldering Werewolf. Yeah. Well, but we knew that could happen. It could have been the Shrill Howler instead. And we have Chandra soon. So Chandra is here because of his 0 ability. Actually, is more useful for our deck. That was my first thought. So if we use the Waxing Moon here, oh no, I made a mistake. I clicked instead of just checking. I wanted to check the ability, just that. But now we have a silly 5/4 instead of maybe one of these out. And the opponent runs energy. He can easily kill this one with a number of spells. He's getting closer to get the energy to create the 6/6 token here. So if we get a land, I think we better try to clear the board with Chandra. Let's see. It's a Wildsize. Not bad. Let's send the Conduit. So we get 2 mana, and if we properly use them, we can keep up. Okay, stop. Timer stop. Wildsize here. I was going to use this to block during the block stage, but now we can remove this before he grows with the energy. We get the 2 and Conduit of Storms, a second one, or the Shrill Howler. Well, this gives us the tokens and this gives us the manas, and the mana gives us access to Chandra. Now if the opponent has more lands, he can use some spell here. This attack is like a trap waiting to happen, so I think 16 life is nothing to be too much scared. Build to smash, and he gains some more energy. The Dynavolt can deal 3 to any of our creatures. I don't think, maybe the opponent wants to hit the 6/6 to catch us unprepared, but we have Conduit of Storms and Waxing Moons, so we get the mana. So the opponent is going to kill one of these 2, but we retaliate with Chandra, and as long as we do not waste the red, we should be fine. We clear the board. So a 6/6 spawns. Let's see what the opponent does here. He wants to block, that's okay. And I'm going to Waxing Moon to save this one from our Chandra. Chandra the Flamecaller. So we received 3 additional mana over here. Yep, yes we do. Where is the other one? Ah, you've a little bit scared, sorry guys, because the delay. I was pretty scared for a moment there. But now Chandra is going to deal, we need to deal 3. So Chandra is hanging by a thread, so continue, and let's see what was our opponent plan here. Yeah, there we go. He can get some energy possible, and he could remove, he might be able to remove Chandra or this guy. Multiform, a nice blocker, but we are going to send 2 3 ones with haste plus this one, but the opponent cannot prevent. So, no, actually this one can gain lifelink. He has to pay 1 flying vigilance lifelink, so the opponent is virtually at 8 health here. Is there somehow that we can... Okay, well, I don't see us quite winning this turn, because this one can save the opponent, and we do not have the the hates for our werewolf. So I think we attack with everyone. We might run into the risk of losing the Conduit of Oracle, but if that happens, the opponent loses the Wonder. So attacking with everything, I think it's fine. If he doesn't block, he dies. He has to block this. He might trade, but we deal 6. He gains 5. A 5/1. Okay, the coast is clear, and we can actually drop the wall hand. This is a little weak against the Dynabolts, so let's get the Conduit of Storms too. So we pretty much have it. There's not much the opponent can do in a deck like his. Maybe he has another one of these. He could stay in the game. Nothing. He has 2 cards that perhaps he needs more lands that he couldn't get. Alright, let's, just in case, we get our guys out, and I'm going to transform this by paying the cost. Let's see, nothing's going on. Okay, let's transform this one, and fog something. No. So the AI held 2 cards, so I imagine that they require more colors than the opponent had drawn. Let's try to do the final one and see if we can keep the winning streak. So far I'm liking the deck, but probably we could make him a little bit more perhaps consistent, or I think we either have to make this go very furiously aggressive to kill the opponent in the first turns of the games, or gather more power for the late game. Nice hand, but of course that is because our cards are not lands. So Nissa might be nice at some point. Not exactly the best one, but if we mulligan again, we go to 5. We have the battlements, so let's begin with Cinder Glade. That counts as both mountain and forest for some of the checklands. But anyways, we have to wait to our 3rd turn to play any of these 2. And well, there's another land. What do you know? Let's drop the gorge, and let's hope the opponent is not going to punish us, because our hand was not so bad. Black and red, no vampires so far, so we might be looking at some Act of Treason deck. Let's get the Partisan out first. I think it's given the opponent he didn't play anything. If we get the Storms, it has better survival rate against direct damage, but black means that the opponent might run something to kill the Conduit, and if he targets this one, we get a 2/2 token, and the extra mana that we received with the Conduit is not going to do us much good that turn. Murder. So we get this said token. So opponent red, black, and removals so far. Maybe it's if we hold, and if I use this turn to use the Howlpack, next turn we can give the Conduit haste. I think it's better this way. So we develop the enchantment, and now this is a serious threat for the opponent. This must prompt the opponent to cast another one of his murders or whatnots. Let's see how the opponent interacts with this token. This picture is so majestic. Majestic AF, we should say. A very nice wolf token. A 3/3 by the way with Rumble. Opponent already at 4 with, I think it's effectively it's a Act of Treason deck. So we have to be careful with what we want to send into the hands of the opponent. So maybe the Elemental Bond might give us the things that we want later. Yeah, let's send this guy to attack. And of course opponent is not willing to block with this. Let's get the elemental bond. So now we are almost with 6, so we could start transforming our wolves by hand, but since the opponent might try to steal them, I'm not so sure about that. As long as he has this one on his side or this other one, I better not do anything here. So for 2, right, we have the crag. This is 3, giving this one haste makes us unable to use Wildsize. Let's just swing with the wolf and see what happens. So opponent loses the Nantuko. He's going to sacrifice the blood flow. Alright, nice. But we didn't play the Conduit of Storms just because of that line of play, and we now got rid of 2 creatures. Maybe the opponent can actually kill the token, but anyways he's going to have to spend a card to do so. And okay, we expose one of our conduits to the steal, but we draw thanks to the elemental bond, and I think it is worth here. We're not transforming this guy, the dragon. Well, now the opponent is going to have to discard the hand he made. Okay, lands and blood flow. Ah, this is so good. The opponent cannot block this one because we transform this guy mid-attack and he loses the dragon. I don't know if he's going to be willing to block this wolf. It's a very huge mistake to block this guy. Let's see if the opponent does it. He does not. That is smart from his part. But now we get for 8 damage in. We get another. Yeah, but the opponent is going to be drawing 2 cards here, and he might find another. Well, and here some disconnection. Anyways, we receive 8 damage here. Opponent might even sacrifice this one somehow, but we can give our guys haste, and the Howlpack Resurgence is going to be enough to finish the opponent. He had another one of the instinct, and game over. Alright. Did you see that, guys? Oh, well, so I think the computer, the AI, wants us to keep playing, and for some reason decided that from all the lands that we have, the one that we want to tap is the Hanweir Battlements. Okay, my mistake, sure, for sure, but come on. The opponent going to draw just 1 single card. The worst that he can do to us is a language that actually kills just 1 of these. And there we go. So look at this. There we go. and just attack with everyone. We could also drop this and get a draw out of the elemental bond. We can transform these guys, yeah, but none of that is going to be required. So the deck performed well. I guess we got luck on our side also. I hope you have enjoyed this one, and I hope you can play, because earlier there was this connection problems, and next time we might try to see if we want to change something of the deck. There's some cool stuff going on, but until the next time, don't forget to leave your comments, and sayonara.